When you do these two things that I'm going to share with you to do, and you practice it every day and you work on it, you are going to change, and you're going to feel an energetic shift in you and a perspective change in you, which is going to shift you into a new reality. But when you do this, you're going to have a shift in any love dynamic you're in, whether it's an old love, a new love, or a love you haven't met yet. So, hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, conscious life and success coach and licensed mental health therapist, and I have got something fun to share with you. So, there is something to be said when we are recreating ourselves and working on our self-love to build your self-confidence and self-esteem. Now, there's a fake way and then there's a real way of doing it, right? And to be fair, the real way is a process, and it's a build up through repetition and just different things, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. But the fake way doesn't work, right? The fake way is when I try to act high value, or I try to act like I'm busy, or I try to act like I don't care, right? That shit doesn't work, because here's why it doesn't work. Because it's not true. It's not who you are. It's not your energy. It doesn't match the thoughts that are in your mind. You're playing a game and you don't believe in the game, which is why it's a game, right? So you may manifest some kind of reaction in the beginning, but it'll fall apart and you won't get what you want, because you actually really don't feel confident enough and secure enough in who you are that you don't even need to play the game. So I want to share with you about this, because this has been a huge transition for myself. Because like I said, I've been fucking growing like rapidly beyond belief, and it's been life altering. So one of the things you want to do is manifest a confident state about you, right? So like, if you don't feel confident about you, if you don't feel like you're pretty, sexy, like you got it going on, like everybody's going to want to talk to you, you're attractive, like, and you're listing all the beautiful traits and qualities about you, then what is, like, when you're trying to manifest a relationship or call in a love partner or even an SP, like, you're still in your old energy for the most part. Even if you're living in the end, you're creating a beautiful feeling inside of you where this person is coming and making you feel this way, right? But I want you to reinforce that. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep doing that. But I want you to also reinforce just who you are, how you see yourself, right? Because self-concept really is important, because when you actually take on and practice cultivating what it feels like with your new self-identity and your new imaging of who you are, the version of you that is confident, that does have it going on, that, feels beautiful, that feels sexy, that feels valued, that feels loved. She knows she's confident, happy, she's got it going on. Like, when you're that woman, your energy is on fire. You are radiant. People are going to notice that. That's so fucking magnetic, right? And it's important to create that for yourself, because then this is what happens when you are involved with someone, whether it's an old lover or a new one. You come in very different. You will not put them on a pedestal. You don't really care how much you see them. You're not worried about if they're texting you. And it's real, because you're so caught up in you, and not in a negative narcissistic way. You're just caught up in how good you feel and what you got going on in your life. And the second tip that I'm going to share with you will actually reinforce that more for you. And I'm going to tell you in a minute, so hold on. But it's really more about understanding that when I feel this good about me, then I'm really not going to do anything in the connection that, like, isn't really what I want to do. And that's not to be mean, but you got to think about it. You got to think, when you put someone above you, when you overvalue someone, when you overinvest and you give more than they give, you're in that needy, desperate state. You're in a low vibe energy. You're in a vibe that I'm not good enough. They're better than me. I need to, do all these things. So then you find yourselves in situations, whether it's sitting around with them, doing stuff you don't want to really do, but you just want to be around them. And this is the only time you get to see them, right? It's like always on their terms. I mean, we can go on and on and on, right? So you're creating that kind of relationship, that version of the experience by what's going on with you, your concept of self. So you want to manifest a state of confidence. You want to manifest a state of the version of you, like I said, that she's got it going on and she just knows, right? And she's just so in love with herself and life and just feels good all the time. And like, she's just not worried, and she's really not going to bend over backwards, and she's not going to do anything that she really doesn't want to do. And I'm going to give you some quick examples. So even in my own personal journey, my person that's in my life right now versus before, that whole dynamic has shifted because, you know, he's invited me many times to hang out with him, but it's always been like last minute and I'm busy. I got shit to do and I'm not faking it. Like I have a lot going on, and it would be inconvenient for me to put that on hold, go get ready, and then go hang out, right? And it's again, I'm not playing a game. It's just not what I want to do. So I say no, right? And that's fine. And there's been times like, even this one time he wanted me to see his new office. So like I went to go see it, and I'm just, you know, and he's sitting there and he's working in his office and we're just like chit-chatting or whatever. It's not a big deal. It's like super cash. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be home. Like, why am I sitting here watching this man work? Like I toured his office. I looked at the space he had next door to see if I wanted to rent it for my own office, and it wasn't. So I stayed maybe like 30 minutes and I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. And I think he was like, whoa, because I used to like be at his office with him all the fucking time. And that's just not what I want to do. I made myself the priority that because I did not want to sit there while he was busy working, I wanted to be home and do something different. And I did. Now, let's look at this from an everyone is you pushed out point of view, a law of attraction point of view. So when you make yourself the priority that, hey, this, you know, I don't really feel like doing this, I would rather be doing something else, and you go do that, you energetically are making yourself a priority. You're making yourself feel better by doing something you would prefer to do instead of forcing yourself for reasons that are unnecessary to stay, you know, doing something that isn't that entertaining to you. So with everyone as you pushed out, you are automatically making yourself a priority. It was just a natural decision, a natural feeling for you to do. Because if someone who didn't want to be there stayed because they were like, oh, I just want to spend time with them and hang out with them, even if it's not like that exciting because they're distracted and busy and working, then like, you would have sat there, maybe, you know, part of you is happy that you're there with them, but then what's the rest of the story and energy that you're in, right? That, oh, this is the only way I can see them, that this is, I'll just take this, even instead of just allowing a better opportunity to come into play where, you know, they ask me out or we go do something where we're both fully engaged with each other rather than, you know, being super distracted. So I want you to understand that concept of why when you carry yourself that way and you mean it, right? And it's just really who you are, you're valuing yourself and you're not, you know, clinging to any little breadcrumb thing that someone's offering, then you become powerful energetically. You're already in the reality where you're the priority and you're not lowering standards to make someone else the priority over you. And here's just more illustration of how my confidence was reflected back to me with him. So the next day, he texted me and told me, by the way, you looked amazing last night, but I know that you know that already. And now he's always complimented me on my looks the whole time I've known him. But the fact that he added, but you already know that, was proof and just made me smile that, wow, my confidence is like that. You know what I mean? It's everyone as you pushed out is genuinely how I feel about myself, how I carry myself. And he mirrored that back to me. So he knew like, man, she looks good, but she knows she looks good. And that's a good thing, right? Because that means like, I know I got it going on. And so I wanted to cut this video to explain that a little bit further to help you understand when you do internally shift your state of being to one of high value and confidence, because you actually believe that about yourself, you just change. And it's fucking amazing. Last point on this, because my goodness, I love talking about this so much that I could talk about it for 20 hours. But it's also really important to understand that I was not worried about leaving and not spending time with him because I am the creator of my reality. So I know there will be many, many other opportunities that present themselves where we can connect and hang out. And I've already had that with him, right? So it's not like I have to do things I don't want to do when I don't feel like doing it just so I can see him. And I want you to look at yourself and understand, how are you showing up in your love connections? Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people would have just stayed and just trying to milk it. And even though they really didn't want to be there other than because they were around them, they would have soaked that up rather than, you know what, you're doing your thing. It's totally okay. Like, I would really rather just go home, wash my face, eat some dinner, relax on the couch, and we'll get together another time. And that's the secure, calm, confident woman who is just not worried because she knows what she has going on and she knows this man's not going anywhere and that you will have another opportunity to hang out with this person and it's not a big deal. So you got to think about that for you and what are you pushing out? So that's okay, And then there was another incident for me where it was just like, my phone was blowing up and usually the old me at times, I would just see who it is, make sure it's not anything serious. And then I would just kind of put it to the side. And I just was doing my own thing. Again, it wasn't this thought where I'm like, oh, let me act like I don't care. I don't play shit like that. I just did what was natural to me, which was, oh, I have a friend texting and I'm sitting here texting back while I'm listening to him talk to me. And I was doing my thing and that was just me. I was doing my thing. Now, some people may say that's rude. I don't really care. And it was just, it's a point to illustrate that I'm confident in just being me. I'm just not worried. You know what I mean? So I also am in this, state of being with him where it's just kind of I'm just letting everything unfold because I already know what's going to happen. So I don't need to give more. I'm not giving more. I don't need to. And I don't want to. I just want to be me. And if we come together and we want to hang out and spend the time together, then we will. It's just naturally unfolding. But I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. I'm not going to stay anywhere longer than I want to stay, et cetera, et cetera. So and that's just where I'm at. So how did I get there? The way I got there was through my self-confidence and remembering my worth and value of who I am and becoming that version of her internally, right? And it feels good. So now these are my natural responses. Again, you can't fake it because there's a lot of coaches and people that are like, oh, fake this and fake that, because they clearly don't understand law of attraction and manifesting. So if you fake it, it's going to backfire in your face. So don't fake shit. Because it's about energy and it's about the beliefs and perceptions you have that you're creating internally. So you're still going to create where you don't get what you want, because if you really don't feel confident about you and high value and just being the best version of you, then the people who come in your life are going to take precedent over you. And energetically, even if you're playing these games with them, right? Energetically, you don't feel high value. You don't feel like a priority and you're still insecure. You're just playing the game, right? So don't do that. That's the whole point of that. This is about you actually just doing you and being 100% authentic with you and not worried, right? Like no issues. So that is the first, to me, the most important is to manifest a state of confidence and really cultivate that on your own so you can step into her. You can energetically feel what that feels like to be that version of yourself and create the story and the reality you want to experience where that woman's showing up in the game, right? And the more you do that, you'll just actually naturally be her like I am now. I just don't even worry. So the second tip that really helps me not worry too is that God state, and I've talked about this, but it's really important. It's really the belief, the foundational belief that I am the creator of my reality, that what I say goes. So when you have that state of confidence and self-assurance about you and your worth and value, and you just know holy fuck, yes, this person was going to want to be with me no matter what, right? You're just not worried. Doesn't mean you disrespect them. It doesn't go give you a free license to be, an asshole to somebody. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you just feel so good about you that you're just not worried. This because how you feel about you, for real, this person's feeling the same way. So it's they're not going to get mad if you leave after 30 minutes. Why would they be mad at you? They're like, okay, do you, boo? So I think it's important, but the other piece is the God state, because I have that strong belief with no questioning that, you know what, I do create my reality. I am the one in charge. So I've already created the internal world that is manifesting externally. Now I've already shifted into the timeline of my dreams. So I'm okay. So I don't need to worry about things. This is what's really helped me this time around. Like, holy shit, it's like so transformational. Like, I don't sit here and look for his text. I don't worry about, you know, when he's going to ask me out again. I just don't worry about shit. And guess what? He texts me almost every single day. He's asked me out multiple times. We've bumped into each other at the gym randomly. Like, we're always coming together, and it always will come together. But I don't need it all the time to make me feel good, because I feel good about who I am. And when I know my worth and value, and of course this person will want to be with me because here's all the amazing things about me, and actually feel that and believe that, it's everyone is you pushed out. He's thinking the same thing about me. So nobody's going anywhere. So you have to kind of understand this stuff and really work on it, practice it, implement it, live in it, relish in how it feels internally to really build up that confidence muscle. Do my goddess meditation, Queen. I love that thing. I listen to that thing like 3 times a day. And you know, get yourself in that state and remind yourself, and just do whatever you can to always go back in that internal world that you're creating of this is who you are, because then you become her, and you can become her fast. This doesn't have to take years. This doesn't even have to take fucking weeks. This literally can take a couple days. And you just keep working at it. Like, every day I have to work on this stuff because I don't want to shift back into the old reality, so to speak, right? There's things in us that shift, like epiphanies and breakthroughs, where like we can't go backwards in that area. Like, now that I know and really understand the concept of the God state and the feeling of that, or the godlike state, and now that I've manifested a state of this strong, confident, high value goddess queen woman, like, I will never let myself go back to anything less than that, because it feels so fucking good. So that's how I want to feel. I like the way I feel in that energy. So I keep cultivating that energy, so I don't pay attention to anything on the outside, because I'm confident, because I know my high value, my high worth, because I actually really believe that about myself. And then because I know, you know, that I am the God of my reality, that I create whatever experiences I want to happen. So with those two powerful concepts and energy shifts in me and mindset shifts in me, then what's happening is I'm creating this amazing reality for myself. I am creating this double whammy where I am so secure and confident and grounded with who the fuck I am, this version of me. And then I also trust and secure, where I don't need the constant reassurance every day to make me feel okay. Like, I just know it's okay. I know I'm getting everything I want. And I do keep seeing evidence of it. But even if it's not perfect evidence of it, right? I don't worry about it. I don't care. I just go within and live in the reality that I want to experience, because I know with the godlike state, right? That's what the godlike state is to me personally, is feeling like, holy fuck, I got this. This is going to happen. I don't got to worry about trying to force anything or question anything or wonder about anything. I go within and I create the experiences I want, and it will unfold. So that was a lot. I think, you know, these are the kinds of concepts that when you're starting to get, and you kind of get, you need to go back and play this and hear it and break it down, and, you know, write down affirmations for yourself, practice these things. I'm going to link the, you know, goddess meditation, goddess queen meditation that I made. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out. Guys, I'm not making one for the men. Sorry. I love you, but I'm sorry, I can't. But I think there was one man on my YouTube that I read, and I was like, you go, boy, because that was cool what he did. He changed the wording, you know, so instead of goddess queen, he was like, I'm a god king, you know, like, go with that, because it's just you envisioning yourself, that you love yourself, you're worthy enough, you're confident, you got it going on too. It's just changing the words in your mind, right? So I hope you found this video helpful. Definitely, if you're a woman and you haven't joined my private free Facebook group, please go join. You are going to learn so much in there. I pop in there at least 4 times a week, where I do free live coaching, and it's a very structured group. I have, like 1,500 women in there that are just amazing. And we're all connected in there, being the best versions of ourselves. So the link is in the description below, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.